Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rina the Wolf, and I don't know who else needs to hear this, but I definitely do right now. Breakups are hard. Here I said it. I know it's obvious. Most probably you have also been through a breakup which was terrible. So the first thing I actually want to address is that we have this kind of like rule thing, right? That the person who decides to break up is always the asshole, right? In most cases, this is what happens. However, it's not easy at all. I mean, sure, you've been cheated on, it's obvious, they need to go. I think, and this is only my opinion, there is nothing that could justify cheating. If you don't want to be with a person anymore, tell them, go on, be with someone else, that's fine. But cheating is spineless. If you have been broken up with, you know how painful it is, because most probably you were still in love with that person, right? And you might think that they are just an asshole, they don't love me, and they are not even trying to fix it. This is some bullshit. However, you might never know what is going on in the other person, right? I am not the person who usually breaks up. In fact, I try to take way too much time. And I try to fix things, which is, yeah, usually it doesn't end well, okay? So I know it's not easy, and this is really messed up because ironically, I am recording this video on my ex's birthday. So even though I am not the person who usually breaks up, because I'm trying to just bend my time, keep hoping that things would be alright, that we can fix this, that we can make this through, that we can talk this through, it never really happened before. I broke up only a few times with my exes, which is weird because, to be completely honest, I thought way more about breaking up with someone than actually breaking up with someone. Does it make sense? No? Okay, didn't think so. Anyway, so when I was young, I had this girl, and I really don't want to get into the details because I don't want to upload yet again 20-30 minute video. But jokes aside, we were young. She was my first official girlfriend per se. It was a long distance relationship. We had been together for 2.5 years, I think. So we were very young. Internet was taking its baby steps in Hungary, things like that, so it wasn't easy. But when we met, we had a whole weekend or a whole week together. That was fine. So yeah, after a while, I just felt like I was growing and she was really immature. And I didn't know how to end this because obviously I was still in love with her, but I knew that she would not change. I knew that we were on so different paths, and most probably she wouldn't have moved anywhere else than her hometown or even the county she lives in, which is fine, but I wanted bigger things. So I knew that it was nice until it did last, and we were not that toxic with each other. It's not even funny the way I say, because there were like cheating, fights, things like that, so it was not ideal, but all in all, it was a nice relationship. We respected each other, we loved each other, even though we were very young. We actually did talk things through. So in the end, I started to feel like it's not going to work. So I kept delaying the breakup. First of all, because I did not want to break up over text or over the phone. I hate that part. but then I didn't have the time or the money to travel. Yeah, we were that young. We were actually still in high school. So I kept delaying this whole breakup thing because something was always happening. Like, she was getting ready for her school leaver exams, whatever you call it in your country, the big tests that you take at the end of the senior year of high school before college or university, things like that. Then her father broke, I think it was his shoulder, I can't really remember. Then someone got sick and I was like, oh my god, I can't break up with her, I would just break her even more. But then I did, over text. We talked a lot about it afterwards. We met a few years later and I realized that was like the right decision. Not the over text part, but the breakup, because even after years she was the same and I moved on, I grew, I actually worked on myself a lot. So anyway, I know it's not easy to be the person who says it out loud that a relationship is over. And it was not only this one time that I kept thinking about breaking up. And if you are going through a breakup, it's only up to you how you would be able to get over your ex, right? Because let's be honest, there are so many different methods. Some believe in grieving, especially if you had been together for a long, long time. We can even talk about a divorce because that happens, unfortunately. We can talk about self-care, which is really important, right? Or there is this theory I actually tried once. So some might say that to get over someone, you need to get under someone. And I tried this once, and I actually got stuck in another relationship for like 2.5 years. And the first year was actually good, great. We had plans, things like that. But the other 1.5 year was like freaking toxic. Shit, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I kept thinking about breaking up after a year. But we did love each other, in a way, I think. And after a lot of time that we spent together, it's just not easy to let the other one go. I was intoxicated, even after all the fights, even after how much I kept complaining to my friends about, I can't go on like this, I'm going to break up. I never did. And I was actually thinking about proposing. Yes, so that happened. So it was a mess. When I wanted to break up, she just denied those requests, right? So I said, like, please just move out. Please go on, move on. I don't want this anymore. And she was just like, no. And I was like, what the But in the end, I was still hurt when she said that it's over. First of all, it's not because I was not expecting it. By the way, I still wanted to fix it, and it happens. So first of all, and this is the thing I got hurt by the most, she broke up with me over text. And I guess she wouldn't have told me that she wanted to break up. We just started fighting. And then she was like, she didn't care anymore, and she was like, okay, by the way, I moved out. And I was like, what the fuck? Don't you think we should talk things through? And she was like, no, I firmly believe that you would not let me go. And I was like, dude, on New Year's Eve, I wanted you to go and you said no. and you're not moving and things like that. So yeah, that was messy. I could not see the things that she took. So up until this day, many of my things are missing. I never got them back. But that's okay. It was more than a year ago. Almost two, by the way, but at least 1.5. So it happens. And sometimes the thing that hurts is not that something is over. Sometimes it's just that we didn't get the closure we wanted, we didn't try to fix things, we didn't try to talk about things, about our feelings, whether it would be a good decision, whether we would be better off without each other, things like that. So yeah, that happened. So I would never try this thing again. I mean, to get over someone, you need to get under someone. It didn't work for me. I mean, sure, the first year was nice, really, sure. But it doesn't always work. And I think we all need to explore ourselves. And I think we all need to explore ourselves after a breakup, just to figure out how we could heal. A breakup is always painful. And sometimes I just felt hurt because I felt betrayed. Like when things were going right, I was like, okay, so things are going okay, not perfect. We might not stay together, but that's fine. So things like that. But when someone is just like make up their minds before you, it's painful, right? Because most probably you are still like, yeah, but we could still work on this, we can still work on that, things like that, right? So I agree. It's still hurtful, and it did happen to me. And since I'm already talking way more than I wanted to about this whole thing, I just want to talk about my last relationship because things were fine. And I know that it was not an easy decision. No, I know. But of course, when it happens first, most of us are like shocked, or we feel betrayed, or we just don't want to believe that this is happening. Like, you know, when things are just fine, but then something happens, like you will realize that you could live your whole life with that person. Like when you feel like you don't need to pretend anymore, when you realize that you don't need to move from the country because you felt the happiest with this person and you don't want to escape anymore. When you realize that children might, and it's seriously just a might not be the necessary key to your happiness, that your partner would be enough, or that you could just be yourself, and it does scare you because all of these years you have not felt that with anyone, and it's scary and it's new and you don't want to talk about it because you just want to understand it first. And then the other just says that they are not okay, which is okay, right? You're supposed to be partners. You should pull the weight together. And then they just push you away. It's not painful at all, right? It is painful. And then you want to give them space, but you don't know if that would be the right thing to do. And you realize it wasn't. But in the meantime, you are dealing with your own feelings and you realize that shit, you forgot to talk again, which is not good. And then there it goes. They say it, that they feel too toxic for you. And you don't understand because things were going fine. You are supposed to support each other which is, I think, one of the key elements of a good relationship. So it happens, and you don't understand, and you do blame yourself, because you're the person who got broken up with. So you try to work on yourself again, you try to find all your flaws, you try to figure out why you are the person who always ends up alone. But let me tell you something. Relationships, in most cases, end. And most probably, it's not because of you. If you can't be yourself with the person you love, they are not the one for you. And someone is out there for each and every one of us. And it might be really hard to accept this fact right now. But it will happen when it needs to happen, the way it needs to happen. I know, I'm also impatient when it comes to things like that. I hate being alone, and I did stupid things last year, or the beginning of this year, if you remember, if you watched my earlier videos. Hopefully you didn't, honestly, because I was such a mess at the beginning of the year. So, jokes aside, it does happen, and you can't help it. And if you keep blaming yourself for that you could not help the person you loved the most, it will eat you alive. Sure, if you love someone, and this is my opinion, it's better if you give yourself time, grieve, mourn this relationship, mourn the person you loved, mourn the person you became with the person you loved, because you will not be the same person. But with time, you will learn to love yourself again. With time, you will be able to love someone else. And it might sound bad, but you will not love anybody else the way you used to love someone. Does it even make sense? So, whenever you are ready for a relationship, you just need to accept that it will not be the same. Because each and every relationships are different. So of course it will not be the same. They are not the same person. And whenever you are ready to do that, just do it. Just because you feel hurt right now, you don't have to shut everyone else out, because it will happen at the right time, the way it needs to be. Yes, I am grieving. I'm still grieving. And I have no idea how much time it will take. But no one says that it was easy, right? Because I am still trying to pick up the broken pieces. And listen, I will be completely honest, this journey is like a piece of art whenever we try to recollect ourselves. So this is the shit I'm currently working on. And I am currently working on myself a lot. And I will actually let you guys know about the whole progress in the future. But I think I have rambled way too much about how fucked up breakups are. Again, because I love rambling and most probably you hate it. Okay guys, thank you for letting me ramble again. So if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, and if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.